So yes, you talk about bliss, bliss in meditation, particularly found in the body. And well, some people come to meditation looking for bliss, and it seems harder to find. It's more elusive. Can you give any kind of practical tips for anyone looking for bliss?
Yes, well, of course there are a lot of paradoxes in Buddhism, and one of the biggest paradoxes is that you can't really look for anything. As soon as you start looking, it evades you. So looking for bliss is probably a bit of a dead-end thing to do. It's more like if you're willing to experience what's there, it is there. So it's not like you have to look for it. It depends how deeply you are prepared to be embodied. I mean, that's it really. How prepared are you to experience the cells of your body, the blood moving around your body in the same way, you know, the breath coming and going. We get bored, it's not terribly interesting, and our mind wanders off to those things that we're most attached to, those things that we'd rather think about, all the things we've got to do, the interesting things, memories and so on. But actually, you know, there is nothing else to be done other than to experience. I'm not even going to say the moment or now, because everything is so fleeting, but to experience that fleetingness in terms of body. You know, the body changes all the time. I had a very good example of this when I had some surgery last November, and they offered me some morphine afterwards, and I said no, I'll just meditate. I wasn't quite sure whether I was going to manage to keep that up, but anyway I did. But it was very interesting. It was at times it was very intense pain, but I was prepared to enter that pain without fear, knowing that it was just pain. It was what I can expect after the surgery. And when I really focused on it, I noticed that, well, sometimes it was quite intense and very focused. Sometimes it spread out over the whole of my back and belly and so on. But it changed. It did change. So I just tried to show an interest in what was happening. Now, I'm not going to say I had bliss in that experience, but I certainly reduced the amount of fear and anxiety that there could have been around that pain. And I did manage just to stay with it and to just see it as a sensation, you know, or a changing sensation that was moving all the time. But of course, mostly we're not in pain. So if we're prepared to it's like drop more deeply into the cells of our body. It is difficult to talk about because it's an experience. So any experience is that's quite a deep experience. Isn't that easy to talk about? I think it's just a willingness to know the body. Put it that way. If you are willing to know the body and to experience it fully, it'll tell you far more than you bargained for. You know, it'll tell you far more than you thought the body was. Yeah. So in other words, if there isn't pain, if there isn't discomfort, well, what is there? That's very mysterious. You know, what is the sensation of pressure on the buttocks sitting on your meditation cushion? You know, we often say to people, oh, actually nothing is really neutral. Neutral really is boredom or avoidance, but there's always some tone, something of interest to find. It's just reminded me that I think it's true to say that, you know, people that are interested in general, interested in life, interested in people, you know, just generally interested, I think they experience more bliss, you know, more intensity of positive emotion. Because those two things go together. In a way, you can't be interested and not find something pleasurable. There's always something pleasurable to find. And pleasure, even minor pleasure, even brief pleasure, if you focus on that, it increases. We know that, don't we? That what we focus on increases, what we give attention to increases. So, you know, a warmth of a belly will develop into something like a deep contentment. And that contentment, focused on, will expand into a blissful awareness.